Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of DesignTech. And today's episode of DesignTech is actually going to be the last one. There is a new mod pack coming out very soon that I'm extremely excited to play, and that is going to become my new modded series. I don't know if it's going to come out immediately after this episode, like within a week, but it's going to be very, very soon, and I figured since this was episode 40, this would be a fitting place to go ahead and end this season of DesignTech. Now, DesignTech is one of the mod packs that I made myself, so odds are it will come back someday and go through updates, maybe probably for a later version of Minecraft once we have, all the mods updated and you can make a proper mod pack that focuses on design and tech, hence the name DesignTech. But what I want to do in today's episode is a bit of a world tour. I want to kind of go over everything and kind of show you what all we built and bring this series to a close. So this was kind of our little starting area. Now, we did have a different starter base in a different location in a mesa, like way down. Actually, we can probably go and visit that. Let's go and turn that off. We'll have to visit this forest town as well. And that can go off too. But our actual starter house was right down over here. Let's actually head over that way, and we'll just take a look at it real quick. Since we got the jetpack, it won't take very long to get there at all. We can go super fast. But we started out kind of in a mesa area, and we started building here, and then I decided after the first episode that I didn't particularly like the style, and I didn't particularly like the area. But this was our derpy little starter house. Nothing too fantastic, nothing too amazing at all. We had some mines down here where we got a lot of our early game resources and stuff like that. And then immediately afterwards, we went ahead and moved over here to our main starter base location. This is where we've spent the first, I'd say probably half of the series. And we built this little guy first. We used a water wheel from Immersive Engineering for our early game power. And we had storage in here with chests and things like that. There is a basement down here where we had more chests. We had a coke oven for making steel and coal coke. I guess actually we didn't have steel down here. Some basic ore processing, things along those lines. And then there is an upstairs that really didn't get used for anything at any point. Before too long, I decided that I wanted a big reactor and that it was time to invest in a big reactor. So we built this monstrosity of a building, and this was our early game big reactor, which gave us a lot of power and things like that. There is an upstairs to this building, and I seem to remember we had something up here at one point. Maybe not. I thought we did. Maybe we had some ore processing up here, and then we moved it when we moved over to the factory. I don't really remember. It's been a while now. But this was our big reactor building. We had a wheat farm here and a tree farm over there, which still work to this day. Now, underneath the big reactor was where we had a lot of stuff go on. We had a mob farm here. This was where our ME system was before I stripped it all out and moved it to the factory area, which became kind of our main base. And then below that, we had RF tools. Oops. We had RF tools dialing. Let's see, factory home. I think it was this one. Yeah, here we go. So we had our RF tools teleportation, so we could go to other dimensions and get around the world very quickly and easily. And then down here we had another mob farm as well. And then down here, we had a glacial precipitator for making ice, because I was planning on using a lot of packed ice in one of my projects, and I don't know that I ever actually got around to doing that. But that is basically the big reactor building. Let's just go over here and actually... Oh, no. Do I not have... Will this reach? Oh, it will. Sweet. I accidentally put my sleeping bag in my ME system. Let's take a little nap real quick. Now, down these tunnels, this was our mine, and we'll just come on down there. Oh, no, I don't want to hover. I can fall. It's okay. I'm not going to hurt myself. And these were our main mines. Once I got into a hammer, this is where we did the majority of our early game mining before I got into a quarry. And then we had a blaze farm over here, which requires very little power to operate. All it requires is something to power the grinder, but everything else is done without using any RF. So we could get blaze rods and things like that. And that's pretty much all that's down here, just mines and nothing too fancy. Now over here, I decided I wanted a really long and very large source of sugarcane. So we built this fully automated sugarcane farm that actually works on basically vanilla redstone. The only thing that's modded about this are these redstone alloy wires, and then obviously some of the building blocks that were used, and then this timer right here, which automatically fires, I believe it's every 5 minutes or something like that, to go ahead and gather and break all of the sugarcane. Everything else about this farm is basically just vanilla mechanics. So, pretty cool. Now, over here, let's, where's my little, here we go. Let's head back up to the surface, and let's take a look at our Tinker's smeltery. Now, this is another very large building, and this smeltery is ridiculously huge. Like, look at the size of this thing. This thing holds a lot of blocks and can smelt a massive amount of stuff at once. In here, it's pretty straightforward. You dump the stuff you want to smelt into here. It runs on lava coming out of a drum, and then you can automate it. You can turn it on. You can do, I mean, basically, it's a super smeltery that works for everything we need to use it for, and it works pretty well. And then if you peek down underneath it down here, everything that gets smelted can go directly into the tesseract. So basically, if I come up here and I tell it to smelt ingots, which is what this lever does, it'll tell it to automatically smelt ingots out of the things that I put in here. Those ingots will then get automatically sent into the tesseract, which goes into my ME system, which we will be taking a look at in a bit. So that is basically the starter area. Let's go ahead and swing over to the Japanese village, since we're relatively close to this thing right here. Let's see, Bamboo Forest. Home to the Bamboo Forest, dial, and poof, there we go. So here, this was going to be a big project that I just never really got around to doing too much in. This was going to be kind of a Japanese style village, and it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. I think it would look a lot better if we had spent more time working on this. But, you know, in its current state, it's not horrible. I really do love the bamboo forest biome. It's absolutely gorgeous. In here, we've got a fairly large building with no interior other than just floors. And then in here, this was going to be like our little builder's shack that I always like when I start a big project, just so we don't have to keep running back and forth. But that's basically the entirety of the Japanese village, just these two buildings, nothing too over the top there, just because we worked on this for a couple of episodes, and then I got tied up doing all sorts of technical things and all that kind of stuff. I do want to head into the Nether, because there are a couple minor things I want to show you in the Nether. Let's turn on our hover mode just so we can move more quickly. And we've got a lava pump over here to supply us with infinite lava. And then here, there is a wither skeleton farm inside this door. Hi, zombie pigman. Works on basically vanilla mechanics. They will spawn. They will come over here. This is just a skeleton spawner, but when you take a vanilla skeleton spawner and put it in the Nether, it spawns wither skeletons. And then you can stand here and kill them with a cleaver and get lots of wither skeleton heads. And other stuff as well. So that's basically all that we did in the Nether. Didn't really do a whole lot. But now, we will head to the factory, which is really the coolest part, in my opinion. Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. Which is really the coolest thing in this world, if you ask me. It's certainly my favorite. We kind of combined aesthetics and tech to come up with a relatively cool project. We also built this road. This is the Simply Paths mod. Basically lets you make paths like you have in Vanilla, the path block. It basically lets you do that with any block, and pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I think it gives you a lot of options and really allows you to make much cooler looking paths, so definitely something that I like. We'll just kind of speed up the process by using our jetpack, because this path does go quite a distance. It goes quite a ways. Now over here is our factory, and this is, as I said, my favorite part about this world. We will stop at our little carpenter's shack that we built just a couple episodes ago. This is all based around the Ye Gamel Chatels mod, which lets you do some really cool stuff and get some very cool aesthetic items like this grandfather clock that actually shows the time. All sorts of cool stuff there, but pretty easy little simple type build. Nothing too over the top once again. Now here, this is the factory, and I do love it. Door shuts behind you. We've got all sorts of crazy stuff in here. We've got a mining laser from Mine Factory Reloaded. These pipes, these are just for aesthetics. They don't actually do anything. They're just basically there to look cool. Over here, we've got a whole bunch of machinery. This is our cobble works. So it gets cobble and it makes all sorts of crazy things, all the way up to septuple compressed cobblestone. So just this alone, each one of these is almost 5 million cobble. Yeah, needless to say, we got a lot of it. And then it also creates all this other stuff you see here as well. Sand and gravel, concrete, glass, flint, silicon, all that kind of good stuff. Over here, we've got some infusing factories from Mechanism. I was planning on getting more into Mechanism than I actually did, but this is basically the infusing factory from Mechanism, and I could do a lot of things with Mechanism using these, because each one of these can produce a substantial amount of resources. Now, you will see a lot of these ME interfaces kind of spread throughout my base. That basically will just take these things and send them directly into my ME system, which is right over there. We're going to go look at that next. Here, this is from when I started to kind of get into bees a little bit. That's basically all I built from forestry, were these 3 squeezers and a carpenter. I found out very quickly that bees were not going to be super fun. Over here, we've got a massive big reactor. This thing is ridiculous. It can put out insane amounts of power. It's only running at about 30% right now it's running at about 70% of its full capacity, and it's producing almost 100,000 RF per tick, so plenty. We've got a super wheat farm over here that basically plants, instantly grows things with fertilizer, and then instantly harvests them. So this thing makes massive amounts of wheat. Over here, we've got a cow farm that automatically breeds cows and turns them into babies, and then the babies grow up and get turned into, they actually get turned into meat. But that's okay. It is what it is. Poor cows. They lead a very horrible and miserable existence. Don't tell PETA. It's okay. Then, over here, this is kind of the meat and potatoes of our base. We've got our ME system, which is amazing and awesome, and I love it. This is the first time, actually, that I've really gotten into applied energistics. Prior to that, prior to this season of DesignTech, I'd certainly used applied energistics. I'd set up a basic ME system for holding stuff, but I'd never gotten into all the automation that you can do with applied energistics and really taken full advantage of it. Here we've got deep storage units from Mine Factory Reloaded for pretty much every item that I would have massive quantities of. So we can hold all of that in there. We've got this little guy right here. So if I am anywhere out in the world and I put something into this ender pouch, it automatically goes into this chest, which then gets sucked into the ME system. So that's pretty good. And then you'll see a lot of these dense cables running out. These go throughout the entire base and basically reach everything. So that's how these will end up going. Anything these output will go into the system, and anything the farm over here outputs goes into this. Basically, that's all from the dense cables. You can see if we peek down here and we go, well, I don't remember exactly where they sit, but somewhere around here we've got dense cables running underneath the floors. Then this is a metal press from Immersive Engineering, and there's an item dropper, so anything you put into this chest will get spit out onto this conveyor belt, which then goes over here into this hopper, and ultimately goes into the ME system as well. Over here we've got a sheep farm, nothing fancy, just basically a sheep farm with a harvester to get the wool. And then over here, this is where we do all of our auto crafting and all of our ore processing now. So if iron ore comes into the ME system, it'll automatically get sent to one of these to get pulverized into dust and then smelted and turned into ingots. And then from there, it gets sent into the system. Same goes for like coal, lapis ore, any of that kind of stuff. We also have a lot of auto crafting over here with these molecular assemblers. So if there's a specific thing that I want, I can come over here and craft, any of these items, and it will automatically make it for me, which is pretty cool. So yeah, lots of stuff going on with this ME system. This ME system and the majority of the automated farms and things like that associated with it were probably what we spent the second half of the series on for the most part. I think it turned out pretty well, and I definitely learned a lot about Applied Energistics 2 in this season of DesignTech. So yeah, but that's basically the whole world. Lots of stuff, lots of tech, some design as well, some cool stuff, and I'm kind of sad to draw this season to a close, but at the same time, I am very excited for the things that are coming soon to the channel, and I'm sure this will not be the last that we see of this mod pack. I'm sure it will be back bigger and better than ever sometime in the distant future. But guys, that is going to do it for me. So, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.